Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How are you doing today?
Cold. And if I say it's cold, it's cold. I think. Let me tell you, like, where we're at. Okay, so it's right currently 48 degrees.
Oh my God, that's what it was when I woke up this morning. It's now
For you
60.
guys.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. We got a little piece of that cold snap the whole weekend. It's been frigid. Oh my God. Well, anyway, welcome to the Commentary Zone Noontime Edition. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter and get notifications from there as well. This was an amazing episode. On the docket today, we have The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 2, Episode 19, Cinco de Mayhem. Sorry. I was trying to, you know how you automatically go to Cinco de Mayo and the
Right.
words kind of got merged together. So I do apologize for that. Okay, so the YouTube alert just went out. Okay, now I know it seems odd that I put on our thumbnail the devil's in the details, but the sub chatter in this episode just at the dinner scene was everything for me. It really was. And it wasn't that surface arguments that's been going on for all 18 episodes. It's the subcontext that I kind of got into that was real interesting for me. I don't know what you thought about the episode.
It was just basically it's just little things that've always been there, and I not to say blame, but Meredith is a key contributor because she refuses to tell Lisa just say, "Hey, I'm mad at you for befriending Jen." Done. And she refuses to say that. I'm like, you're acting petty, so you might as well say what the pettiness is on your mind.
I wonder if she's had a real friendship with Lisa these past 10 or so years.
I mean, that's 10 years. This is pre-show, so I mean, you have to have had a friendship. But she's just mad with Lisa for befriending Jen. That's all it really comes down to. You can't tell me anything else.
All right, so let's start off at.
I mean, I get it to a degree, but you cannot tell her that. You can hint at it, but it's not fair to her. You need to straight out and tell her this is the problem.
And she's never done that before?
She's never done that. She's hinted at it. But she's never flat out said it. Because what in her mind, if she did flat out say that, she would look extremely petty and extremely childish. But it's how she's feeling though. And sure. I always feel in these cases you have to tell people what's on your mind. You have to tell people like this is what the real problem is. You can hint at it, but I shouldn't have to guess what your problem is.
Right. Okay, so let's just say hi to everybody. Hey, Black Lavender. Hi, Yanni. Hi, Queen Bria. Morning, Trey. 16 inches of snow. Yeah, I'm good with our temperature. I'm good. Let's see who else is in here. Welcome, Paranormal Witch. Welcome. Hope all's well. Paranormal, turn off this show and go and concentrate on school. Okay. Yanni says she thinks she had a superficial relationship. We have different levels of friendship. See, those are little things. And like when Mary said, when me and Meredith talk, we don't talk about y'all.
True.
Like they talk about deeper things or like real friends do, not what the next plot line is going to be.
Yeah.
So it was like little things like that came out. And Whitney just gave away herself because Whitney is just hanging on to these plot lines, I guess, which was supposed to be the plot lines for this season. She's beating a dead horse with them. I don't know. Trey says, I'm not so sure Meredith has ever had any friendships outside of the one she has with her son Brooks. Oof.
Ooh.
Oof, oof, oof. Trey, yes. Trey agrees with me. Focus, Willow. Hi, Morgan D. Welcome. Let's see. But I also think Meredith should say, Mary, this isn't right sometimes. She does, but again, I feel like Meredith always talks in riddles. She never says the sky is blue and the grass is green. It's always, well, there were some clouds and precipitation and it was a little, murky, but kind of sort of blue. She maneuvers her words very well, and I'm seeing more and more of that lawyer coming out now that I know that she has a degree in law. Okay, Trey says Whitney has become Salt Lake City's Sheree, a bone-carrying pot stirrer. Yeah, but she's not as good as Sheree, though.
Whitney doesn't have that nuance to her. Everything's pretty much straight out. Look, I'm just gonna run this back real quick, and we're gonna talk about it.
So she has to develop that. That has to come with age and practice. Okay.
Sheree has many seasons on the show. She knows the assignment.
Not only that, when Sheree came into the show, she was in her 40s, right?
Yeah.
So that's been bone carrying for decades. Whitney's only in her 30s, and this is probably her first go around at this.
Right. Like, we take into account Sheree has 10 plus seasons. So
on top of even when Sheree first came in, Sheree was real good at what she did.
Oh, most definitely.
And that's, look, she's had to deal with her husband. What's his name? Whitfield. Not Doug. What's his name? Michael. Not Michael. Why I can't remember his name?
Bob.
God.
I know it's one of those common names.
Yes, it was so common that we couldn't remember it. Thank you. She's had to deal with him for a long, that. Oh Lord. Anyway, Trey says, did you notice how Whitney wound up Jen by saying, so what are we gonna do, knowing she was going to stand back and watch Jen react? I also thought it was interesting that when Jen went off on Lisa automatically said, what triggered you? And I'm wondering, I'm thinking back, did Whitney say anything? Because I think Whitney was a lot of the fire starter for the individual pop-offs. With the exception of Mary, that was Heather. Oh my God. And Heather did the granddaddy of all slams last night.
She was not playing no games. I was like, oof.
I was not expecting that from Heather, to tell the honest truth. I really wasn't. But did I appreciate it? Yeah.
Damn. She stood up and she wasn't playing with you. She was not playing with Mary.
Okay, so Yanni says, I actually think Jen and Meredith were closer and have plenty of skeletons in each other's closet.
Yeah, they were close. And that was the problem. Meredith got in her feelings, and then, they fell out, and then Meredith expected Lisa to ice her out too, but Lisa said she would.
Yanni. Thank you, Morgan and Ryan, for giving us Bob. Yanni, but some of the bones are just stupid. The memorial for Meredith Dad, does it really matter? Um, it is, whether it was on a Monday or Tuesday, they had Tando. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. No, she would have to come in earlier no matter what. And who's to say that they didn't have like a viewing and then what is she calling the memorial the funeral? Because like I know, I'm not sure, but like for us in my family, we do at least 3 days viewing, and then we have the funeral. So I was just thinking, so what if she had a multi-day event? For funerals, it's not just one day.
But she said memorial though, that's different.
That's what I was wondering. So memorial, the body just isn't there. It's like a funeral. It's like a church service.
Generally, okay, so generally you can have the memorial, which is nobody, and then you can have the wake, where the wake is for the people who probably can't go to their service or the actual like burial site, and then you can have the actual service. So you can, some people will do 2 out of 3, some will do all three. It just all depends on the family.
So wait, a wake for you is the party, right?
No, the wake is like, say there's no preacher, no pastor, no anything like that, and all pretty much all it is the wake is just the body being there, so people can come by, can pay their last respect. It's for people who can't actually make this actual service.
Oh, that's the viewing for us.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
we call it a
the
wake.
viewing, and then we have the funeral, and then we have a party.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we
I
just
mean, with
call
like
it.
DJ and everything. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I thought that like, especially after she got so upset the morning before, I thought that was a little much, Whitney. You just tested my nerves with that. Um, I loved it. Heather hit her back hard. Mary didn't even know how to come back from that. It's true. They're tired of Mary's attitude. I also think that they're tired that Mary behaves like she doesn't want to be there. Yeah, none of them are friends per se, but they all participate. And Mary, it's always a struggle. But then again, Mary said none of them like her and they all treat her badly. So then why would you want to be with these heifers?
Right.
Don't sign back up for season 2. You saw what they did to you in season 1, Mary. They relegated you to a closet. Do you think the women go extra hard on Mary compared to the others?
I think what it just happens to be that Mary's the one Meredith latched onto, and I think that's the biggest issue, is because Meredith is doing to Lisa what Lisa did to her last season, and that's really what it comes down to.
I believe what DJ Richie said was true. If you think about it, they hyped up Mary's family relationship from season 1 as one of the main things. And then she got relegated to the closet. So this season, they forced her out of the closet, got one production company, and I think she was supposed to be the target. Salt Lake City is becoming like Beverly Hills. They find a target and they go after it. And I think she was supposed to be the target, but Meredith's relationship with her and Jen getting arrested ruined it.
Gotcha.
And I think that's why it seems so awkward when Whitney keeps on holding on to these plot lines that just don't make sense. And you're attacking Mary, who has no charges against her, but you're coddling the person who has all the alphabets zooming in on them and taking them down on the road in a highway in Utah and has court dates.
Right.
You know, I can agree with DJ Richie Sky on that. It was awkward before, but once he said it, it then all kind of made sense. It kind of made sense. And this was after I did the thumbnail. I was just trying my best to put this together because these little fragments of subtext that was going on at this dinner, it was still like it wasn't making sense to me. And when he said that this morning, right because he went on right before we did, and I only caught a little bit of his show, I was like, my God, Eureka. You're fucking Rika. It's true. They trying to do a Beverly Hills. It makes me rethink all of these women. And then on top of that, like, okay, so the interaction, we're just all over the place. Do we even care about the first part of this show? It was about them doing a whole bunch of activities that nobody care about.
Right.
Do you want to talk about at the spa in the garden with Mary telling Jenny that she ain't talking with her like that about her family?
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. And Meredith, what she said at the dinner about that is true. Like, they're all saying, I don't understand why you don't want to be friends with Jenny. Well, if she don't fucking like her, she don't fucking like her. You
Right.
can't force people to be friends. And there's obviously friction between the two of them. And Mary said it. Like, I love it how when Whitney asked her, do you like Jenny? She said no.
Right.
But
Keep
that
moving.
became a problem. Why? Jen said, I think it was last week, was it last week where she said that Mary was the only one being truthful? When was that? Or was that at Faux? Jen had said it.
Yeah.
She said Mary's the only one that tells the truth. We might not like how it comes out of her mouth, but she tells her truth. It's a little rough. But Whitney also has a point. If you saying that you're a woman of God, you really shouldn't be that disrespectful of other people's feelings.
Well, you can't. I think what they're trying to say, like, as a woman of God, you should be like all encompassing, all embracing, and you're not. Like, you're kind of the opposite. Like, how can you tell? Like, for example, to say you're a woman of God, and then you tell someone like, you annoy me, I don't care about you, you don't matter. That just doesn't seem like proper.
Yeah, any sort of religious leader, you don't want them to actually say to you one-on-one, you just don't matter. I don't care about you. What? I don't know. Hi, Barbie, welcome. The whole storyline is a reach. It's not like Meredith didn't go on the Vail trip. She just didn't ride in the van. It's really not that serious. Exactly. But Heather and Whitney have been pulling at these two straws for the longest time. First, it was about Meredith. Then they looped in Mary. And I'm wondering if they're mad at Meredith for being friends with Mary and not going along with their contrived plot line.
You know, I'm gonna say this. I think they kind of all had like, we don't like Mary no way, and I'm going to say that Meredith then went rogue. Like,
Exactly. She was
wasn't
supposed to
be
follow, the
the
plot.
plan.
Yeah, going up, against Mary. But
Because
she
like
said
they're like
no.
y'all were never friends anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they're looking at it, in my opinion. Like, y'all were never
Mm-hmm.
friends anyways. So what are you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Susan. Hi, Larger Curves. I know I'm way back in the chat, y'all. I'm sorry. What else happened? Oh, one cute thing that Whitney said though, when she was going back and forth with Mary about her being a woman of God and not bringing her blanket, Mary said, something about her being on the pole. And poor Whitney said, God taught me that. Child,
Right. Hey, he
what
gives us
chapter?
he gives us all like our own talents. So
Uh, but that's what I mean. The memorial, the feds, those are stupid way to force a fake storyline. She's not good not good bone carrier. She jumps all over the place. It's Jen, then Lisa, then Mary, back to Yet she has to
mhm.
hone her craft, and it's gonna take time. Is this her first season being a bone carrier? Was she
Yes.
one last season?
She tried last season. She was like the dumb blonde last season, basically.
Last season was so fragmented with the two different production companies. I don't think we got a good handle on any of these ladies last year, other than Jen being a mess. Um, did y'all see Meredith on Watch What's Happened Live saying that Mary was out and Andy didn't deny it? She's out. I saw some of that interview, and the interesting thing, because Jen gives them all presents, the diamond necklaces
Right.
at the dinner, and this ties back into her earlier conversation with Whitney. So okay, this is where lawyer Meredith shows up before the Cinco de Mayo dinner. She goes to Whitney and she goes, listen, I have a little problem here. um who's paying for that dinner? Because if it's Jen, I don't think I can go, because she's declared to the feds that she has no assets and no funds. So where is she getting this money from? This could be tricky. So then Whitney is like, I think it's the husbands who paid for this. So then, she's like, okay. All right, so then I can go. And then the snowflake necklaces come out, and Meredith is just sitting there, and she says, thank you, Jen. And Whitney says in her confessional, it's funny she couldn't come to the dinner, but she's accepting the necklace. Whitney, you jumping too fast. You jumping too fast.
Right.
Because she's not going, Meredith isn't one who's going to actively go and ruin somebody's event.
Right.
She's already had that mishap yesterday morning with screaming like a banshee at everybody. So she just said, but you see it on her face. She's not happy with this.
Right.
She opened it and she closed it and she said, thank you, Jen. But her face was like chipped ice. It was really not having it. She was just like, this is problematic.
But
And
here's the
on
thing.
Watch What Happens Live, she said that immediately went to her lawyer's office and it's being held by her attorney. And if it is determined that there is restitution to be paid to the victims, that will go to the victims. She
But
don't
here's
want
the
that
thing.
necklace.
You notice how she went to Whitney with this, right? You could went to anybody else. She didn't go to Mary. She didn't go to Heather. She didn't go to Lisa. She went to
Wasn't
Whitney because
wasn't
she.
Whitney's husband one of the losers? Wasn't it Dewey and Justin who had to pay?
It was no. It was Dewey and I thought it was Dewey and John.
Who was the losing husbands, y'all?
I
Damn, I'm far back. Oh my God. Guys, welcome to the chat. All right, so I'm just scanning down. Meredith just want to say, hey, Fez, Jen over here spending. Technically, she spent that money before she got arrested. Because we commented on that. It was Justin and Dewey, Carrie Conversation says. Thank you,
yeah
Carrie.
yeah Dewey and Justin, Lisa's husband. So
No, John is Lisa's husband.
John is like,
Justin,
oh,
yeah, Justin
Whitney's
is
husband.
Whitney's husband.
I get them J
Wait,
names so mixed
confirm it
up.
for us, chat. Confirm it for us, chat. Um, oh,
But here,
Justin's whose husband?
Justin is Whitney's husband.
It is.
John is Lisa's husband. And I could have swore it was Dewey and John.
You thought it was
I
Dewey
could
and
be
John.
wrong.
I think all of them probably chipped in, but they
Right.
said
The losing team.
On the golf course, I think that the losers would pay.
Right.
Mm. I don't know. I think that's why she went to Whitney.
I don't believe that.
You
Meredith
know?
is too smart. No, she went to Whitney because she knew Whitney was going to run that back at some point.
Well, at least she's partly participating in the plot line.
No, no. That's what I'm saying. Like she's like, I'm like, you went of all people, you went to Whitney. Yeah, you planned it out.
I'm
You
guessing
planned.
Jen's hubs paid too because he wasn't there. Yeah, all the husbands chipped in the end. Um, because I think that's how Whitney was like, the husbands are paying for all of this, all of the activities, the house, the everything they're paying for. Wow. Okay, so good on Meredith is covering all of her legal bases, all of them. And I think she even said at the dinner, what's going on with Jen is not only having an impact. Yes, the greatest impact is on Jen, but is also having an impact on them.
Right.
I just wish, has anybody, like, other than wrong person, but Heather, sat down and talked with Jen and asked any sort of hard questions? Like, this is where I miss Sutton. Sutton got her ass tore up with Erica. But the questions needed to be asked. And I think that's what's lacking in this season. Like, Jen is going off on her little sob story rants about how, this is happening to me and I'm innocent. But nobody's questioning that. Like, all of us are.
I think what it is just it's interesting that they ask the tough questions not to her face. You know what I mean? They don't ask her to her face. They ask all the right questions behind her back in the confessionals, but it's not to her face where they need to be asked.
But
Like
that's
what's
not
going
good
on?
enough. We need,
Right.
like, the arguments that we're getting are so stupid. Like, who cares whether Mary liked Jenny or not, whether Jenny liked Mary? Like, I don't care about either one of them. Like, I want to know, girl, did you steal all that money from them old people on the phone?
Right. No, no, it's not that you so much stole. Did you sell did you steal from them and sell their information?
Like,
That's what we
yeah,
really
but
need to
that's
know.
what you're for. You need to ask that question. You need to make my question sound like it has sense, and you ask the question. But that's what I want to know. Did you steal from them old people?
No, did you no,
And
not
where'd
that
the money go?
no, Debbie, it's not so much did you steal from them. It's did you steal from them and then sell their information so they can be so other people can steal from them. Because remember,
And then
it's a multi-layered issue.
where's the money? Because you don't got no assets, you ain't got no home.
Right.
You just got a closet full of tacky clothes that you probably got from the real. I
But hold on, if you ain't got no assets, whose name is on your Bravo check?
Huh?
Jen claims to have no assets. If you
So
say
she
you,
didn't even have an account, a bank account?
no, I'm saying like whose name is on the Bravo checks then, ma'am? I'm gonna need you to think about these lies before you tell them.
Well, that's why I also want to know, like, where's the money? You couldn't have spent it all in tacky clothes. I know Whitney said that that Jen is real good at opening up companies. Where are they?
Oh, do you think she has multiple shell companies?
Ooh.
Not in her name, which is why she
Mm.
said she has no assets.
That Where is Sutton? Where is Sutton? Sutton is my person on screen who knows how to ask these questions, so I can sit back and go, oh, they're so much better than my questions. Made no sense, Carrie. And the spew was hard. so much hate. Why? What's behind all that?
Mhm.
Um, they're all literally begging to be Meredith and marry Fran, while Jenny at the table dating Mary, huh? Hating Mary, I'm assuming, um, getting everybody gets on everybody nerves. Mary knows they're all fake. Well, she said that. She said that. She said it under her breath, and Jen called her out and said, "No, speak up and say it." Um, and she said, "I don't feel like any of y'all are my friends."
Right.
And someone who has very limited friends, your definition of friendship has a higher level. You
It
know what
does.
I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I have a small circle of friends. And so my qualifier for being a friend is like high. So I don't know. Everyone is a scammer and Jen knows they business. Oh, good Lord. Thank you, Blobby. um, Carrie Conversation says having zero assets is the best thing you can do when you are making illegal money. What?
Oh.
But then where's the money? Isn't money an asset?
Clothes, jewelry. Just
Hmm.
saying.
I think we need to check out this. What is it? The state of Delaware, where you can set up all those LLCs and not really disclose nothing.
Right.
Um, those Bravo checks aren't that much at this franchise. That's very correct, Ryan.
No, it is,
They
but it's
ain't
still
getting
assets
none.
though. I'm looking at everything as like monetary, so you can't really say that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at all her clothes, all her jewelry, quote unquote furs. To me, everything's an asset. If it has any kind of monetary value, to me, it's an asset. I could be wrong though.
Okay, so Larger said, what reason could these ladies have to blame Mary for everything, if not racist driven? Mary literally says nothing except for responding to them, and she's the scapegoat for everything. She isn't the scapegoat for everything. Let's just call a thing, Larger. Mary is rude. Mary is rude.
And they don't
She's
like her anyway.
extremely blunt. And I don't think these ladies know how to take that.
They just don't like her. I mean,
True.
and that's another thing. That's just another thing. They just don't like her. And I mean, we as the viewer, like, she's interesting because there's a lot of layers to her.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing also with her is, from my standpoint, I could be wrong, is that she's just not fulfilled in life right now. And I think she's naturally just straightforward and blunt, but I think she seems to be going through a tough time. So that just exasperates her bluntness.
I think the only one on the cast that she's ever opened up to is Meredith, because when she talks to Meredith, it's completely different. I also think that there is a sort of relationship with Jen. Because after they got over the whole hospital thing, um, I think that's her second level friend in the group, and everyone else, no. So Meredith is Mary's primary friend, and she's opened up the most. And Meredith has taken the time to cultivate that relationship and
Right.
peel back the layers and allow Mary to feel safe to talk to her about certain things. And like Mary said, we don't talk about y'all, which means that they have more in-depth conversations instead of the
Hmm.
trivialness of this show. And then with Jen, I think if they're not fighting, I think Mary actually kind of likes Jen.
I think she does. I think Mary's I think what Mary looks for is, because she seems like, she said, she's a closed person. I think with her and her situation, she's looking for people who aren't going to hold her past against her, or who her husband is. I think she's looking for people not to lead with that and not to judge her. And Meredith doesn't seem to judge her. She's like, I'm just going to get to know you as Mary Cosby, and we're going to move forward. And I think when they don't talk about, they talk about things outside of this show, like probably like family, day to day life, like friends do. Like their friendship is not because of the show. I mean, they may have grown a deeper friendship because they work together on the show. So they spend so much time, but their friendship is not based solely on the show, and that's what happens. Like when your friendship is based solely on the show, it's very surface, and you can
Okay.
tell they've. I mean, when you call on someone to actually speak to your child about what's going on, that's a level of friendship. Because most people don't want their coworkers around their children, if we're being honest. Not talking about things of that nature.
Okay. All the ladies are rude, but they make an effort to get along for the sake of the show. I don't think how Mary communicates, these women know how to deal with it. And Mary has set up in her mind, these are not my friends, so I don't have to watch my words. I can just
Hmm.
say it as it is.
She treats them like
Whereas
coworkers.
Meredith, oh,
She
you
treats
have
them as
to,
coworkers.
I don't even think so. Come on now.
No,
And Jenny and
go ahead.
Jenny just rubs her the wrong way.
With for example, when I treat coworkers, I'm very indifferent. Like, I indifferent. If you make me mad, you're just going to get what you get. And so I understand that with Mary. Now, the reason why, and here's why I want people to understand, the reason why Mary and Jenny don't get along, in my opinion, is that you're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same person. It's just
Mm-hmm.
y'all butt heads. You have so much in common, and your personalities are so similar that y'all just is like
That's
boom, it's not gonna
natural
work.
friction. Yep.
Natural friction. It has nothing to
Yep.
do with anything else but natural friction.
So Yanni says, no, what she said to Heather was blunt. It was rude and mean. You don't have a husband, not only meaning you didn't pay for this trip and you alone. That was uncalled for. Excuse me, uncalled for, like you have no say, you didn't pay.
No, I mean I get that. And it was rude, but it's I think what happens is when you say things, I think you can be blunt, but when you say things that aren't necessary, then it becomes rude.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
it's sometimes Mary is blunt
Mm-hmm.
when she's saying when they're on topic and they're in conversation, she's blunt, and I like that personally. It's just easier to deal with. At least for my personality, it's just easier to deal with.
Because you know
But
how to deal with it. These ladies don't. Because look,
mm,
look what Ryan says. I don't think Mary understands the reality show assignment and how it's partially
ooh,
fabricated and how the characters are supposed to interact.
that's a good point.
And I think it boils down to Mary, Mary's used to being in charge and not questioned and no one coming up against her. I don't think she has many friends. And I think she's just not getting how things go on a reality show. Mary actually only liked Meredith Whitney. That's why Whitney was one of the only ones that has been invited to Mary's house. Somewhere down the line, Whitney became annoying and a plotter because Whitney did not answer the phone or text her back for that cooking class. It has to do something around that period where Whitney fell out of line of listening to Mary. That's about it. Okay. Ryan, I really don't understand why Mary is there. Mary's backstory and who she is, it makes for great reality TV. But Mary as the individual, like Ryan says, doesn't understand how reality shows work. And it's a
Right.
shame. Because I can see her like brassing up the girls from the pulpit, like, with righteous indignation. I
Mm.
wish she had spun this better. She goes from, I don't like what you said, to stab you. We didn't like Kelly doing. Why would I like Mary doing it? Oh, okay. Oh, you equating her to Kelly? Oof. But Kelly, I don't know.
Kelly was crass, is why people didn't like her. That's really what it comes down to.
I
Mary's
don't
not
think
crass.
Mary
Mary's,
is a constant irritant like how Kelly was. I don't know. That's a little harsh, Yanni.
I get the
Um,
correlation, but I think Kelly was just way more crass.
yeah.
And Mary's not. Mary's very good on social media. Kelly was just doing too much on social media. That's why she got fired.
Mary is not as hateful and racist like Jenny. I think both of them have issues. Um, Heather. Ah, Larja, I love your defense of Mary. I really do. I just love it. Um, oh God, okay. Well, it hasn't been reality for years.
Right?
And case in point, that final scene with Lisa just going all the way off on her dear friend of over a decade, Meredith. And who was in the room? An executive
Producer.
producer. Egging on everything that she said. I was wondering why she was talking to herself because it made no
Right? It
sense.
made zero sense.
But somebody was in that room egging her ass on, and
Right.
they probably like cut out where he was talking and just spliced together everything because it was just audio and looking at a door. It was skillful. It was masterful. It was wonderful.
But here's the thing, though. Lisa saying what she said gave Jen. Okay, it gave what Jen said last year validation, and then it gives the rumors that were out there validation as well.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my eyes.
Okay, so look at this. Yanni says, I really don't care for racism level. Racist is racist, period. I don't want it in my circle nor want to watch you. I think people had no issue with Ramona because she's white, Jenny is Asian. Still, I'm done. I think the only people who don't have a problem with Ramona is Bravo.
I mean, here's the thing: if you fire everybody, if you bring back Ramona, if you fire Jenny, you can't bring back Ramona. At this point, you can't, because if you do, you're going to just give us validation that y'all have racial issues.
Carrie. Carrie says if Kelly can say she's black, then Mary can say she's Asian and therefore not racist. Oh my God, that's a stretch. Um, okay, so we know it's not reality though. There are storylines, not verbatim dialogue though. Mary plays it like it's real or it comes off or is edited that way. Yes, Larja, you are appreciated. Um, let's see what else we have. What else stuck out to you in this episode?
Oh, the Lisa and Meredith situation. When Lisa's like, that's not kind. That's not kind. And what Lisa's saying is that you're not being consistent in holding Mary accountable, but you want to hold everybody else accountable for the things they say. She's all, it's not right. And then Meredith is all like, well, like you said, no one was there for you. 100%. But then you want to come to me to stand up for you. And Lisa's like, no, I got me. We're good here. I just want you to have my back. I'm like, well, there we go.
Mm-hmm. But then Jen jumped in. Wasn't that when Jen jumped in and said, Lisa, you need to be consistent? Or
Yeah,
was it before that?
it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It was in there somewhere. And when Lisa also was stuck out to me, when Lisa said, I'm a great friend to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
that's not possible. Especially when you have two friends who are arguing. You're always going to be a better friend to one than the other. And when she said that, I'm like, see, that's a problem. That for me, that's a red flag. Because here, say, for example, say Larja and Ablavi are having a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm friends with both of them. How can I be a great friend to both of them when they don't like each other?
And you might have an opinion on who's right and who's wrong.
Exactly. And that's where Lisa messed up. Quit trying to make everything about you and you being comfortable. You're grown. You got kids. You got businesses. You're in uncomfortable positions all the time. Your friend group should be the easiest one you manage. Also, what did you think about Lisa saying that Seth changes jobs every 5 minutes?
That was interesting.
Why don't you own a house?
She
I was
just
like,
came all the way out. I wrote down everything that she said. It was just hysterical.
if you wrote it out down, you want to go through those points because she gave us a lot in that hot mic moment.
Okay. Was it really hot, Mike, though? uh,
I think she was pissed and she completely forgot that Pac was on.
okay. So Lisa says, um, Meredith can go fuck herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a fucking whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and her dumb fucking family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes. Then we see Lisa says, fake Meredith is a piece of shit. I'll have your back and I'm offended by that. That fucking piece of shit garbage whore. I fucking hate her. She's a whore. She's fucked half of New York. She can go fuck herself. And then Lisa comes out the room and tosses the mic pack back at production and says, you can have your mic back. Mm, mm,
Mm-mm.
mm. That was a lot. That was a lot. It went by like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot. And she let it all hang out. So Yanni says, Jamal, be honest. They were upset, but watching the new show matter more. They have Ramona still working and she'll be on the next season. If she was black or white, she would be gone, but she's white.
But you know what, Yanni, I'm gonna agree with you, but what I'm saying now is, given the climate, the way things have played out, and how Bravo has handled the situation, like you canceled the reunion. That has never happened. Then, due to the situation in Dallas, you put that on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Salt Lake City with Jenny, where you were going to keep working with her, but you got so much backlash that you wound up firing her. You backtracked. Given these three major issues, if you bring Ramona back, you are basically confirming what everyone already thinks about your network. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you are having successful shows like Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City, and Miami is because, one, let's be fair, the climates have shifted. I think Yanni said this about Miami. Miami was ahead of its time. It was good, but they weren't ready for that kind of diversity. Now we're moving towards this type of diversity, The shows that are doing the best are the ones that you interjected some diversity. OC is only good because you brought Heather back. That's the only reason. Let's be honest there. So that OC is its own little bubble. It just really is.
Mm-hmm.
So Bravo really needs to. They have to scrap New York and start fresh, which means you have to scrap Ramona. That's just the thing with me. That's just given they've had three major scandals within what, a year and a half. Three, three. I mean, do you remember we used to never not hear anything about the Housewives? But this was pre-social media too, like the social media boom. It was like they would film and it was over.
Wait, if you're of
Now
African descent, you are Asian? I don't know why I always thought that everything started from Africa.
that's what we've always been taught.
I never heard that one, Carrie. That's a new one for me. If you're African descent, you're Asian. Mm-mm. I heard the other way around. That they like Africa
Lu-
was the
Lucy,
start.
Lucy,
Who's Lucy?
the bones that they always talk about.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Okay, yeah, that's where I got that. Okay, never mind. Who
Oh,
else?
Ablavi says Miami was no diverse in the beginning, and Leah would have to pull Ramona. I mean, Leah was Caucasian. Ramona. Adriana was Brazilian.
Hmm.
Larsa was Persian, and the rest.
Persian descendant.
That's what I say,
She
Persian
does,
descendant.
yeah. She doesn't claim that though.
Yeah, Persian descent,
She was
and then
black by injection.
and then the rest were Cuban. So it was ethnically diverse.
Hmm.
So that's there, and Bobby's like, um, NYC OC Salt Lake City need to be canceled.
Just cut to the quick, Ablavi.
Here's the thing. I have a question for you.
Mm,
I'm, tinfoil hat now. All right. Conspiracy theory.
mm-hmm,
The way that Mary treats Jenny,
mm-hmm.
do you think she was the first one to find those Facebook posts?
No. And here's the thing. I think I hate to say this, but I think
Thank
the way
you, Ablavi.
oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
She's a Lebanese. Thank you. Dad nabbit.
I think Jenny's tone and how she speaks to people might have come over twice as much when speaking to Mary. And Mary found that insulting and automatically wrote her off. And I think it is just based on who they are culturally that they rub each other the wrong way. What you said is correct. They are the same person. And because Mary said it, both of them said it. They find each other rude and they talk to each other that way because that's what they're used to. Because Jenny doesn't talk like that to everybody else. And Mary only talks like that bluntly to everyone else except Meredith.
Mm-hmm. I got you. It's just that Mary just had. It's like Mary just had like instant dislike to Jenny,
And
and
I
it
think it's how
seemed to
she
be out of
came
nowhere.
off.
You think that's how
No,
she came off?
yes, because remember that first time that they were in a scene together? Jenny was out there cussing. And Mary took offense to it and said, "Don't speak to me like that."
Okay.
And just
I,
automatically wrote her off. And it's just their natural ways of talking to people that they don't like. And they can't take it. She didn't cuss Mary out. Not that first scene. She was cussing in general to all of them. And Mary said, "Don't speak to me like that," meaning the
right.
cuss words.
Jenny was just speaking in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I took it.
Yeah, because
It
she was
just
like, "Come
Mary. It
on,
just
y'all, let's
Mary.
have some fucking fun and stop this."
It's just
And
Mary just had to be the one that was speaking at the time.
Yeah, because she was speaking right before Jenny said it, I think.
Right, exactly. It was like right before.
Uh-huh. Mary speaks to Meredith bluntly as well. She told Meredith that okay, so Mary speaks to Meredith bluntly as well. She told Meredith that she left her on the dance floor because she can't dance. Meredith is just not that sensitive. I think that because they've established a friendship.
Yeah, like I speak to my best friend and I. We speak to each other like very, very, very
Mhm.
bluntly. Like if people on the outside heard like how we talk, like there are times where we go back and forth and there's a tone to it, but we each know where we're coming from. We're just trying to get our point across, and then sometimes we just agree to disagree. And but if you were on the outside, and you saw the back and forth and you heard the tone, you'd be like, "Whoa, that's kind of rude." Like with your friends, you sometimes they need that tough love, and if you're
Mhm.
really friends, then you can speak that way and have that conversation or those conversations.
Okay, so wait, hold on. It's like talking to a mirror. That's what psychologists say. Anything you don't like on another that brings a gut reaction is because unseen in yourself. Interesting.
That's true. Because typically the things that we criticize other people for are the things we don't like about ourselves.
Okay. All right. So Laura just says she specifically cussed at Mary for yelling at Lisa. Go back and look. Oh, good Lord. Jenny was speaking to the two people who was arguing. She just ain't as direct. Jenny always looked down when confronting Mary. Jenny always looks down when confronting Mary? Hmm. Okay. Real friends don't take things personal. Right. Mm-hmm. Jamal, we should review first season of every franchise. I was watching season 1 of Jersey. It was amazing. And actually, Jersey was the only one that had like 4 wives for one season, and it was a blast.
Yeah,
The early years of Jersey,
Jersey was the
where it
best.
was the families, the
Yes,
2 families,
yes,
awesome.
yes. The
Awesome.
Loritas and the UGKs.
And the
Those like the go
brownstone, where it was like
right.
kinda, you know, loved it, loved it.
And in OC,
Um,
in OC, you could tell they had no production. It's like they were filming with camera phones.
oh
Oh
my
my goodness.
God. Did Jenny ever own a nail salon with mostly black clientele? I don't know. She said she had a med
A
spa.
med
Or,
spa,
yeah.
like 7 locations or something. They sold like four.
Yeah. It might be oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That was rude of me. I'm just cold. All right, so guys, this was the episode. Sorry if we didn't go step by step through it, but basically the first part of the episode was trash. It was until they got to the dinner that things started to kick off for me personally. So this was the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 2, episode 19, Cinco de Mayhem. This chat was on fire today. Oh my God. Did all of you go and give us a like? Please give us a like. Thank you. Let us know what you think in the comments below for the replay crew. Hello, y'all. Tomorrow we're doing Sister Wives, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow everybody bring your notes. I watched part 1 of the one-on-ones.
Mhm.
I'm sick of one person already. And it's not
So
Cody.
how did they do it? Because I haven't watched it yet.
Um, they go from person to person to person.
Right.
You could tell that the lady, the interviewer, she's a journalist.
Mhm.
She interviewed each person privately.
Gotcha.
but then production spliced it together. She basically asked all of them the same questions or incarnations of the same questions. But I kind of like it so far.
Okay.
Kind of like it so far. And like I said, I already hate one person, and it's
Oh,
not Cody.
who's the one who was crying for no reason as usual?
Yes.
Okay.
Annoying. It's like she came in with this narrative of don't blame me, but bitch, we gonna blame you. I'm just saying. You can't fight against what the edit at the end shows us. I just whatever.
Yeah, they can only play what you give them. At the end of the
Mhm.
day. At the end of the day.
Mhm. So yeah, everybody come with your notes. Sister Wives tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll talk, and it's three parts. My God, they got a 3-part one-on-one for 11 episodes, or was it 10 episodes?
I think it was 10.
Yeah, 10 episodes and a 3-part one-on-one. That's crazy. How many episodes do you think is going to be the reunion for Salt Lake City?
Probably 3.
Why? All right. And on that note, Jamal, any final notes? Any final words on this show?
No, this was a good episode.
Well, the last part.
Yeah.
The last part. And I wonder how that final scene with Lisa's outburst is going to play at the reunion. Because notice they didn't show this. They did the reunion before they aired this, but they give them the full season to watch before the reunion. So Meredith would have seen that when she was getting ready for the reunion. It wouldn't have aired yet. Oh, good Lord. Interesting.
It better. I don't know. It better not. It better not be no 4 parts.
There's nothing to give 4 parts to. There's barely anything for 2. Just saying. All right. So, Jamal, my friend, until next time.
Of course.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.